Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Governor Andy Beshear is continuing his campaign promise to support Kentucky teachers. And thousands of participants performed in the streets of London, England for the city's New Year's Eve Day parade, including some from West Virginia. Plus, some runners in Louisville started off their new year with a 5K called the Hangover Classic.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 6:01 on January 2nd. I'm Madison Pergram, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning. If you're just getting up and grabbing your coffee on this Thursday morning, maybe heading back to work, a couple kids going back to school, let's go to Brandon Robinson because it's chilly out there. You need that coat.
In some location, yes, ma'am, but it's going up as the winds come out of the south there, and they're starting to warm some of the areas in southern Kentucky up, but not all of us. So take that jacket. You may not need it later today, but you'll need the rain gear for sure. Let's see the current conditions outside the WYMT studios this morning. You could see not too much going on, maybe a few clouds drifting across the sky in parts of the area. The satellite radar showing that back and forth through the region this morning. I had clear skies, and on my way to work this morning about 3. We're looking at temperatures colder in the north for the most part. The exception there, 41 in Moorhead, 42 in Irvin, 41 also in Williamsburg, 44 in Middlesboro, 45 the warm spot in Monticello, 29 Ashland, 31 here in Hassard. That's a couple of cooler spots, and some 30s across the Big Sandy. And that's a little extra on the coffee meter, especially if you're getting up, going back to work after the holiday today, to school. Max warming needed in some areas where the temperatures are below the 30-degree mark. 50 today, maybe a little bit warmer, maybe a little cooler, depending on when the winds start to die down just a little bit there. Those rain chances will increase as we head deeper into the afternoon. The headlines for the rest of the week: after a soggy day today, those dreary conditions continue into the weekend, and we could even see a few snowflakes fly as we head into Saturday evening and Sunday morning. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. Madison.
Thank you, Brandon. Well, Martin County is losing one of its community staples as Inez IGA prepares to close its doors. The store, which was once known as Inez Supermarket, then ShopRite, before becoming an IGA, has been part of the Inez community for 60 years. Store owner Judith Owsley inherited the business from her father. She says she has worked hard to keep the store going, but the economy in the big box stores became too much to keep the doors open. She says the Warfield IGA will remain open and encourages customers to shop there. And earlier this week, we reported on a road bridging Jackson and Laurel counties closed due to flooding on Sunday night. Jackson County Judge Executive Shane Gabbard posted pictures on Facebook showing the flood damage to the bridge over the Rockcastle River. But a timeline for repairs is still up in the air, and here's Krista Frost with more.
It's a bridge that connects Jackson County to Laurel County for so many, but right now county officials don't know when Lowwater Bridge will reopen again.
Yeah, the gentleman that was here just a minute ago has a farm just on the other side of the river, and in order to get over there, he's going to have to go 18 miles out of the way with his tractor just to get over to where his cattle is because of the bridge being out.
All that rain we saw this weekend, that's what's to blame for this. Unfortunately, this is far from the first time the Rockcastle River has flooded this area.
Of 2019, we've had a little over $1 million worth of damage just from flooding on our county roads in Jackson County. We've been working with FEMA, me and Jamie have all year.
But all this damage has pretty much maxed out the repair budget in Jackson County. That's why they're planning on calling in people from Frankfort and other local offices to see if the beams and structure of this bridge needs work or not.
That's something that we're going to try to let the state engineer help us to figure out what's the best solution for the problem that we got.
Now, Jackson County officials say they will be calling people in Frankfort later today to get the ball rolling on repairs. They say the holidays made contacting others difficult, but for now, Errolboro Road in Letterbox is closed on both sides of the bridge until further notice. And legislators return to Frankfort next week. The first day of the 2020 legislative session is Tuesday, and this is a 60-day session. It's scheduled to adjourn April 15th. Lawmakers are required to pass a 2-year spending budget this year. Among other issues, they will likely take up the pension crisis, vaping restrictions, sports wagering, and the legalization of marijuana. And Governor Andy Beshear is continuing his campaign promise to support Kentucky teachers. He announced on Tuesday that teachers who protested at the state capitol during the 2019 General Assembly session did not break the law. In August, former Governor Matt Bevin's labor cabinet determined that the more than 1,000 teachers broke state labor laws when they protested changes to the teacher retirement system. WKYT's Chelsea Jones spoke with an educator about the reversal of that ruling.
After days of protesting at the state capitol, the hard work seems to have paid off.
I think we made it clear. I think the legislators understand that we won't back down.
Teachers are praising Governor Andy Beshear for reversing a decision that claimed they broke the law. In August, former Governor Matt Bevin's labor cabinet determined that more than 1,000 teachers broke state law by calling in sick to protest in Frankfort. But yesterday, Beshear announced in a press release that teachers were wrongly accused.
That's the last resort for us to have to leave our classroom to be in Frankfort. So I think it was, our profession is under attack. We have to do something.
Under Bevin's administration, the labor cabinet sent subpoenas to school districts requesting the names of teachers who might have called in sick to attend state house rallies. As Attorney General Beshear filed a lawsuit to block the subpoenas, which a district judge later denied. In his first few weeks as governor, Beshear has been on a mission to fulfill the promises he made to teachers. Before yesterday's announcement, Beshear's labor cabinet secretary Larry Roberts wrote a letter to the Inspector General saying teachers were exercising their constitutional rights during the rallies.
I think with the governor that is supportive of education, I think it will be a different environment and a different feeling this year.
And as we head into another General Assembly, teachers say they hope the governor and state legislators can work together for the benefit of education.
We don't want to have to be screaming, yelling in Frankfort. We want to be at the table. We want to make decisions about things that affect our kids and our profession. That's what we want.
In Lexington, Chelsea Jones, WKYT.
Now, the 2020 legislative session begins next Tuesday. And thousands of participants performed in the streets of London, England for the city's New Year's Day parade on Wednesday, including one marching band from West Virginia. More than 100 members of Marshall University's Marching Thunder Band made the trip across the pond, marching along the 2-mile route in front of an estimated audience of 600,000 people, with countless more watching around the globe. The cherry on top, the band was at the front of the parade. Song selections included Alabama's Mountain Music and John Denver's Country Roads. This is the first time the parade has been broadcast in the United States. And some runners started off their new year with a 5K. This is a 2020 Hangover Classic in Shelbyville. The annual race recently moved from Louisville to Clear Creek Park, and one runner went to bed before the ball dropped to get ready for the big day.
Because it's the first day of the year and want to get it off to a great start, and it's a beautiful day to start a race.
Mary also says her New Year's resolution involves running. She wants to do more 5K and 10Ks this year. Well, 2020 may be the year you get fewer annoying robocalls. President Donald Trump signed a law Monday increasing fine for companies using the phone to hawk illegal financial schemes and other services. The TRACE Act gives officials the authority to fine companies $10,000 for each illegally placed call. The new law comes after the Federal Communications Commission announced a nationwide crackdown of robocalls in June of 2019. The TRACE Act is a bipartisan measure passed by the House and the Senate last year. And Pope Francis celebrated the New Year's in St. Peter's Square on Wednesday in front of thousands who had gathered to listen to his message on World Peace Day. Before delivering his message, Pope Francis apologized for hitting the hand of a well-wisher who grabbed him and yanked him toward her. In his New Year's wishes to the public, Francis confessed to losing patience with the woman while he was strolling in the square the evening before to admire the holiday decorations. Focusing the rest of his speech on the peace message, the Pope thanked the many volunteers that in places where peace and justice are threatened courageously chose to be present in a nonviolent and unarmed form. The motif also thanked those who joined a march for peace on Wednesday. And the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office in Florida is investigating a shooting at Gondy Beach. Detectives say 2 men were celebrating the new year by shooting guns off over the water. When one of the men ended up being shot, detectives say they are investigating this as a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The man who was not shot drove the other to the hospital, and he is in critical condition. No names have been released. And a woman was killed in a New Year's celebration in Houston. Officials say a family was out in the front yard lighting fireworks when Philippa Ashford says she thought she'd been shot. Investigators say the 61-year-old had been shot in the neck, and deputies believe the bullet that hit Ashford was celebratory gunfire. Investigators are working to determine who fired the gunshot and believe it came from outside the family's immediate neighborhood.
Just remember, when you're doing that, what goes up must come down at some point. So don't do that. Please don't do that. Tragedy there across the last couple of days there. Let's take a look at our current conditions this morning. We're looking at temperatures in the 30s and 40s for the most part. Ashland at 29 is our coldest spot in the region. Monticello at 45 is our warmest spot this morning. We take a look at wind speeds, and they are cranking. Why? 17 miles an hour right now. All that coming out of the south there this morning. And that's going to bring us some warmer air today. You'll see the clouds will increase, the rain chances go up, but the temperatures will go up to right around 50, maybe a little bit better today, depending on how much that south wind gets out of here, or gets into here rather. But the rain chances aren't going anywhere, and they're going to actually increase over the next couple of days. Madison.
Thank you, Brandon, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. High winds in the Mountain West forced an Amazon delivery truck off the road and nearly caused it to flip over. And a search for victims of a sunken fishing boat in Alaska is suspended, with 5 people still unaccounted for.